once a light. Many errors have been made throughout our moving lives. It's time to seek forgiveness and do that which is right. Then only can we see between just you and me the glory of Islam and its endless beauty. No matter where you're from, no matter who you are, when it's time to leave this world, we'll all...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this new episode of Unity, the Way Forward. I'm your host, Junaid Dar, and joining me in the studio is a well-known, renowned Sheikh Dr. Haitham al-Haddads. Welcome to the studio once again.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
As we know, Dr. Haitham al-Haddads is the Managing Director of MRDF, Muslim Research and Development Foundation. And you can see the website Islam21C to see the various works and articles that are produced from this organization. In our previous episode, we talked about the Quran and the reasons why the Quran was revealed in Arabic. Furthermore, we looked at the role the Quran plays in uniting the Muslims. It was a very interesting point, Sheikh. If you could further elaborate.
Yeah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We said that Allah Jalla wa Ala, it was His will to reveal Quran in Arabic, and that was mentioned in number of ayat. إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير. And Allah Jalla wa Ala said as well فإنما يسرناه بلسانك. We have revealed Quran easily in your tongue. A number of ayat that Quran was revealed in Arabic. Clear. Now, we said that Allah Jalla wa Ala could have chosen to reveal Quran in different languages.
Right.
But Allah Jalla wa Ala revealed Quran in Arabic, and Allah Jalla wa Ala knows that there will be French Muslims, there will be American Muslims, Chinese Muslims, etc. And Allah Jalla wa Ala obliged all Muslims to learn Quran. And they are forced to change their tongue into an Arabic tongue, at least in certain practices or during certain times. So they have to learn Surah Al-Fatiha.
Right.
They have to learn some other parts of the Quran. They have to learn to say the dua of tashahhud in Arabic. They have to learn how to say Allahu Akbar in Arabic, Sami Allahu liman hamida in Arabic. And this is a miracle. Allah Jalla wa Ala is uniting all Muslims all over the world, irrespective of their cultures, irrespective of their languages, uniting them through Quran, behind the banner of the Arabic Quran. Let us be even more specific. So this means that although there are different cultures, but there is a common culture between all Muslims, which is what? The Islamic culture.
Right.
In fact, you can say the Arabic Islamic culture. Subhanallah. The Arabic culture, does it mean wearing these types of clothes? No, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about something more important in the culture, which is what? The language.
Right.
As we just said. And subhanallah, although some people are negating this idea now, but it is practiced everywhere. When you go to China, for example, you know Muslims by saying Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
And in fact, if there are non-Muslims who are using this language, you know that they have been mixing with Muslims.
Right.
So see the miracle, although it is a language, but it gives sense of what? Of unity and brotherhood. Once you know that this person is sharing with you this kind of communication, it has a psychological impact, and it has social impact, even political impact. That's why I think that there are some non-Muslim countries who are trying to disattach their Muslims from the rest of the Ummah, the body of the Ummah. Why? Because they know that if they disattach them from the body of the Ummah, then they can easily manipulate them and they can easily change them. That's why we say, although Muslims are living as minorities, they still remain as part of the Ummah, and it has mutual responsibilities and obligations. The body of the Ummah has certain obligation towards them. They have certain obligations and duties towards the rest of the Ummah. I am living in Britain, or maybe somebody might say, well, because of my background as an Arab person. But imagine a white, indigenous Muslim, British Muslim. He has obligations towards Palestinians in Palestine.
Right. Okay.
Al-Muslimu akhul Muslim. Innama al-mu'minuna ikhwa. Believers are nothing but brothers. Finish. Full stop. Same thing, Muslims in Saudi Arabia have certain duties and obligations towards who? Towards Muslims in China. They cannot just leave Muslims in China suffering oppression of their government and do nothing. No, that is against Islamic concepts. This is the first part of unity within Muslim minorities that we have mentioned.
Okay, so Sheikh, would it be fair to say that one possible method on how to bridge the gap and to unite ourselves and possibly to defend ourselves from disunity is the strengthening of the language?
This is an interesting point, Brother Junaid. Very interesting point. And here, let me take this chance to encourage Arab countries to host more non-Arab speakers, Muslim non-Arab speakers, to learn Arabic. It is a duty upon Muslim countries to teach Muslims who do not speak Arabic, Arabic.
So
why don't we have this? It is really something amazing, very, very strange, shocking, in fact. How many Arab countries do we have? Imagine if each Arab country hosted a number of Muslims from different countries, large number of Muslims, not just a few hundreds who are going to study in their universities. Right. No, large number. And irrespective of whether they are going to be du'at or not, da'is or not. No, they should teach them Quran. They should teach them the basics of Arabic language. If they fail to do this, they should send some teachers. Let Arab countries, Muslim Arab countries, send teachers to teach Arabic and Quran to China, to Philippines, to America, etc. It is true that some Muslim countries are doing this, but we want more. It is not enough. And they should not feel that they are doing them a favor. No, it is an obligation.
SubhanAllah.
It is an obligation. And imagine if we start doing this, don't you think that the whole Ummah will be coming together? Our hearts will be joined, coming together? Of course, this is without a shadow of a doubt, is something very, very important.
As we say, charity begins at home. So if we see these great offerings, that will definitely bring the hearts together, and it will be a great introduction or a beginning for unity.
Yeah.
Okay, Sheikh, moving on, how can Muslim minorities then be unified? I mean, we see many problems in the West, maybe in the East as well, with issues of, the most controversial of that is Eid prayer, or maybe even the times of the salawat. How can we unify ourselves in these situations?
Yeah, this is the second element that we need to discuss, which is unity among Muslim minorities themselves.
Right.
For example, Muslims in Britain, do they have to be united among themselves? Muslims in China, do they have to be united among themselves? It's difficult for me to conclude a certain answer about all Muslims in different countries. But generally speaking, unity is far better than disunity. Some Muslim countries, or Muslims in non-Muslim countries, they said that they prefer to be seen as disunited, but not disputing, as disunited, rather than being united. It is up to the intellectuals and the scholars in every single non-Muslim country where they have Muslim minorities to decide. But generally speaking, if they are united, I think they will be progressing better, and they will be achieving things that they wouldn't be able to achieve if they were disunited. You mentioned the example of Eid and other things. First of all, what do we mean by uniting them?
Okay.
In some non-Muslim countries, ask Muslims to have representatives. So if if those minorities can have representatives that represent them, that is brilliant, that is excellent.
Okay.
If that is possible. If that is not possible, then at least Muslims should have representatives in certain areas. For example, the issue of ifta. If they can have like one mufti who can decide on the strategic issues, not necessarily on every single issue, and who can represent Muslims before the government.
Okay.
Who can support the aims of Muslims, who can even strengthen the causes, the Islamic causes. If we can have that, this is excellent. In Australia, for example, they have a mufti.
Okay.
And the Muslim personal law is not implemented as a Muslim personal law, but they have a setup, Muslims there, they have a setup for marriage dissolution, etc., whereby it will be legally binding if it has the rubber stamp of the mufti.
Okay.
The office of the mufti is the office of the mufti is in charge of deciding the Eid of Muslims and the, as they say, the religious holidays of Muslims. That is a form of unity. It might not be a full unity, but it is at least a form of unity.
Okay.
If that can be achieved in some other Muslim, in some other non-Muslim countries, that will be excellent. And of course, each country has its own particulars. In Britain, for example, there is a body that represents most Muslims. So if we can't have just one single person, one single mufti, at least a body to represent Muslims in strategic issues. We have, as Muslims, although we have many sects, but we have some common things.
Sheikh, just to stop you on that point on the most controversial topic of sects, we're going to take a short break. Stay tuned and we'll join you in just a couple of moments.
We all be friends, it's time we all unite. It's time to leave the shade and walk towards the light. Many errors have been made throughout our moving lives. It's time to seek for. We all be friends, it's time we all unite. It's time to leave the shade and walk towards the light. Many errors have been made throughout our moving lives.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back. The Sheikh was just talking about the role of Muslim minorities and unification. But then we moved on to the different sects or the differences that are present within our ummah. Sheikh, if I could ask you to continue from there, please.
Yeah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We said Muslims as living as minorities, they should unite themselves as much as possible. On strategic matters, if they can have representatives, either individuals or bodies, to represent them, irrespective of the differences that they have, irrespective of the sects they have. And we will see maybe in some future episodes that although we have sects within Islam, we have some common things. Even if we don't have some common things, some Muslims living as minorities, they should consider certain rules that might not be applied in Muslim countries. For example, Muslims living as minorities, they might overlook some of their differences, some of their aqidah differences when they talk to the outer society, when they talk to the non-Muslims, in order to be seen as united and in order to further their causes. Let me give you the example of Eid.
Okay.
In any non-Muslim countries, we have different school of thoughts. Muslims have different school of thoughts. They might have some sects, real sects. We say to them, at least let us unite on Eid. And even I proposed that if we can't unite on one day, let us unite on 2 days.
Okay.
You know the issue of moon sighting, and whether we should go for calculation or we should go for moon sighting, naked moon sighting, or whether we should go for the sighting of Mecca. Okay. Difference of opinions. I said, if you can unite and give up some of these differences in order to be united and to have 1 or 2 days as official holidays, that is excellent. In fact, you know, Sharia in this particular issue said as-sawmu yawma tasumun. So it gave preference to the day that all Muslims agree on, or most of the Muslims agree on, over sighting, over moon sighting. Right. And this is a point that many Muslims are unaware of, that the first criteria is the day most Muslims agree on. It is not the individual moon sighting. So if Muslims, most of them agree on one day, and an individual sighted the moon in a different day, he should go for what Muslims agreed on. Even if he wanted to go for his own individual moon sighting, that may work in certain cases, but not in all cases. And even if he wants to go for that, he should go for that on an individual capacity, secretly, not to disclose this to go against what? Against the unity of the Ummah once they unite on something. So on the issue of moon sighting in non-Muslim countries, we say to Muslims who are living as minorities, you need to go for what you unite on.
Right.
Even if it goes against what you believe from a jurisprudence perspective. If you believe in moon sighting, or if you believe in calculation, but the rest of the Muslims in your country decided on something, then go for that. And that is a form of unity, although we have different opinions.
Sheikh, what do we do in a situation where I think the UK would probably fall into this category, where it's a split, where we are unable to say that the majority is here and the minority is there? There's a split between the two decisions.
Yeah, this is one of the reasons why we are calling for unity, because this split causes real split between Muslims. And we came across certain situations where some families, half of the family is fasting and half of the family is celebrating their Eid. We want to remove this. So we say that Muslims should be united at least on these things, although they might not be major principles. However, they are major practices because they reflect the symbol of unity,
right,
between Muslims, at least in front of non-Muslims. So that's why we say that Muslims living as minorities, they should keen to be united, at least in front of non-Muslims. So this is just an example of unity between Muslims living as minorities. Take other examples on political levels.
Right.
In some countries, the government is asking Muslims their views about certain things. We should unite on our stance on these political issues. If they ask us about certain views regarding elections, regarding certain parties, we should have a unified opinion. Unless we, as Muslims living in that particular country, we see that it is maybe better for us to be seen as disunited. So this is unity on disunity. Okay, which is something that it is a strategic decision that can be taken in certain circumstances. But unity to be disunited, in fact, it is unity because it is an organized disunity.
Right.
And an organized disunity is far better than unorganized disunity, because unorganized disunity leads to fighting and other consequences, but organized disunity is far better. In fact, it is unity.
Right.
Take another example regarding unity between Muslims living as minority. Take the issue of Muslim personal law.
Okay.
When we discussed this issue, I remember that I was giving a lecture about Sharia and Muslim personal law in Britain, because it's part of my PhD anyway. So that lecture was delivered in SAWAS, School of Oriental and African Studies. And a Chinese student asked me about different sects. She said it is impossible to have a unified Muslim personal law in any of non-Muslim countries, because Muslims do not have a single authority.
Right.
Muslims in these countries, they don't have a single authority. Moreover, they don't have single jurisprudence. They have the Ja'fari fiqh, they have the Sunni fiqh, even the Sunni fiqh, they have the Shafi'i, Maliki, Hanbali, Hanafi, etc. So I said to her, in fact she was a female student, I said to her, let them give us this opportunity and we will deal with our situation. This is first of all.
Well,
it is not that Britain or France or other non-Muslim countries, they don't want to give us this opportunity because we are disunited.
Right.
No, because it is a level of hostility and prejudice against Muslims, and they don't want to see real Islamic presence within European countries. This is one thing. However, even within Muslim personal law, we have so many commonalities.
Right.
Except with some French sects. In terms of marriage, talaq, inheritance, generally speaking, even among sects, there are some common principles. Now, between madhahib, Muslim personal law is very, very sort of, you can say, unified. Inheritance, among all madhahib, 90% of rulings regarding inheritance law is the same among all madhahib.
Okay.
There are some minor differences in issues regarding marriage, talaq. The common ground is far bigger than what we disagree on. So in terms of Muslim personal law, why don't we as Muslims living as minorities be united to achieve kind of official recognition for the Muslim personal law within the judicial system?
Right.
And if we were able to achieve this, this is a great victory for Muslims living as minorities. Unfortunately, because we are disunited, we fail to achieve this. I don't know of any country where Muslim personal law is officially recognized as part of the personal law in that country.
Okay.
Even in India, Muslim personal law is not officially recognized. It is recognized unofficially among Indian Muslims.
Thank you, Sheikh. Just like to we're coming to an end here. We talked about personal law and how this is a stepping stone to success and how it brings us closer to unity. In our next episode, we will look at the proofs and the importance of unity in further detail. Until then, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Friends, it's time we all unite. It's time to leave the shade and walk towards the light. Many errors have been made throughout our moving lives. It's time to seek forgiveness and do that which is right. Then only can we see between just you and me the glory of Islam and its endless beauty. No matter where you're from, no matter who you are, when it's time to leave this world, we'll all return.
كتاب أحكمت آياته ثم فصلت من لدن حكيم خبير. And Allah Jalla wa Ala said as well, فإنما يسرناه بلسانك. We have revealed Quran easily in your tongue. A number of ayat. That Quran was revealed in Arabic. Clear. Now, we said that Allah Jalla wa Ala could have chosen to reveal Quran in different languages.
Right.
Glory of Islam and its endless beauty. No matter where you're from, no matter who you are, when it's time to leave this world, we'll all...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this new episode of Unity the Way Forward. I'm your host, Junaid Dar, and joining me in the studio is a well-known, renowned Sheikh Dr. Haitham al-Haddad. Welcome to the studio once again.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. It was a very interesting point, Sheikh. If you could further elaborate.
Yeah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. We said that Allah Jalla wa Ala, it was His will to reveal Quran in Arabic, and that was mentioned in number of ayat. إنا أنزلناه قرآنا عربيا لعلكم تعقلون.
Shade and walk towards the light. Many errors have been made throughout our moving lives. It's time to seek forgiveness and do that which is right. Then only can we see between just you and me the glory.
As we know, Dr. Haitham al-Haddad is the Managing Director of MRDF, Muslim Research and Development Foundation. And you can see the website Islam21C to see the various works and articles that are produced from this organization. In our previous episode, we talked about the Quran and the reasons why the Quran was revealed in Arabic. Furthermore, we looked at the role the Quran plays in uniting the Muslims.